If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Kevin Stefanski is facing one of those stormy stretches that can define a head coach's tenure in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, after yet another disappointing loss. This time a 27-20 setback to the New York Jets in Week 10. Find themselves staring into the mirror and not liking what they see. It wasn't just another defeat. It was the kind of game that makes you question the foundation of everything: effort, execution, and coaching direction, right from the opening kickoff at MetLife Stadium. It looked like Cleveland was playing catch-up not only on the scoreboard but in focus and energy. Before fans could even settle into their seats, the Jets had already found the end zone, twice. On special teams no less, Keen Wangwu sliced through the Browns' coverage for a kick return, touchdown, and on the very next special team sequence, Isaiah Williams took a punt back to the house, to returns, to touchdowns, to gut punches that Cleveland never truly recovered from. Kevin Stefanski stood at the post-game podium visibly frustrated, but still composed, the way he often is. He didn't point fingers. He didn't throw anyone under the bus, but his tone said everything. Yeah, obviously. Not good enough, he said bluntly. We can be way better than that. Some of these big ones. You got to get the guy on the ground and limit what could be a bad return for you. But get him on the ground for a gain of 20 or whatever it is. That quote, though measured, was telling. It wasn't just a critique of execution. It was a plea for discipline, awareness, and heart. When a team gives up to touchdowns on special teams and back-to-back plays, it's more than just a breakdown of X's and O's. It's a breakdown of pride, of the small details that separate professional football from chaos. The Jets, who have been a picture of inconsistency this season, managed to make history in the process. They became the first team in league history to record touchdowns on consecutive special teams touches. For Cleveland, that statistic isn't just embarrassing. It's haunting. It shines an uncomfortable spotlight directly on special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone, a former NFL player known for his energy and intensity. Ventrone was supposed to be one of Stefanski's strongest hires. A coach who could bring attention to detail, toughness, and accountability to a phase of the game often overlooked. Instead, his unit delivered one of the worst performances of the season. And now both he and Stefanski are taking heat. Still, Stefanski doubled down on his faith in his coaching staff. I have a ton of faith in Bubba. We have to be better. That's the case. He told reporters. It was the classic Stefanski response. Calm, loyal, but firm. He knows that in the NFL, the line between faith and foolishness is razor thin. If the special teams don't show improvement soon, that faith might look less like trust and more like stubbornness. The Browns are already planning to emphasize fundamentals this week in practice as they prepare for the Baltimore Ravens, a team that thrives on exploiting every weakness. The Ravens special teams unit, led by Justin Tucker and Devin Duvernay, is one of the most polished in football. If Cleveland doesn't tighten up, things could get ugly fast. While the special teams meltdown dominated headlines, it wasn't the only headache for Stefanski. The other came from the most important position in football: quarterback. Rookie Dylan Gabriel continues to test the patience of fans and analysts alike. Against the Jets, his numbers weren't terrible on paper: 17 of 30 to passing, 167 yards, and to touchdowns. But anyone who watched the game knows those stats don't tell the full story. Gabriel missed several key throws on third down, struggled with his reads under pressure, and his timing looked off with his receivers. The Browns' offense sputtered for long stretches, and every possession felt like a grind. That uneven performance reopened the debate about whether it's time to give ASJr Sanders his first NFL start. Sanders, the highly touted rookie out of Colorado and son of NFL legend Deion Prime Sanders, has been the talk of Cleveland all season without even taking a snap. The Browns fan base, restless and desperate for something to believe in, has been calling for ASJr ever since Gabriel started to falter. On social media, the noise is deafening. Start ASJr hashtags, fan edits, and passionate debates flood timelines every Sunday. But Stefanski, at least for now, isn't budging. I don't think it's fair to speculate, Stefanski said when asked if Sanders might see action soon. We are committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is committed to improving in any which way he can. That's coach speak for we're not making a change yet. And it's a message Stefanski has had to repeat several times already this season. He insists that both young quarterbacks are developing behind the scenes, learning the system, understanding protections, and getting comfortable with the speed of the NFL game. But the patience of the Cleveland faithful is wearing thin. With the Browns sitting near the bottom of the standings and playoff hopes fading, fans are asking, what's the harm in seeing what Sanders can do for now? The answer seems to be about timing and readiness. Stefanski knows that throwing a rookie quarterback into a struggling offense can do more harm than good. ASJr Sanders might be talented, confident, and composed beyond his years. But the NFL is a different animal. The offensive line has been inconsistent. The run game has lacked rhythm, and the receivers aren't creating separation in that kind of environment. A rookie's confidence can shatter quickly. Still, every week that Gabriel struggles, the pressure grows. Each incomplete pass, each stalled drive, each interception becomes another argument. For a change, there's also an emotional layer to this story. ASJr Sanders isn't just another rookie. He's a cultural phenomenon. His rise through college football was part sports story, part entertainment saga, all wrapped in the charisma of his father, Deion. The younger Sanders carries himself with swagger and poise, and fans see him as a symbol of excitement and renewal, something this Browns team sorely lacks right now. The idea of ASJr taking the field wearing that orange helmet and injecting energy into the offense has become almost mythic in Cleveland sports talk. But Stefanski, ever the pragmatist, is not one to be swayed by hype. He's focused on process, not popularity. This balancing act between development and results is nothing new for Stefanski. Since arriving in Cleveland, he's been praised for his steady hand and offensive mind, but criticized for being too cautious and too loyal. That trait, once seen as a strength, now feels like a liability. Fans want boldness, not patience. They want to see adjustments, risks, and innovation. They want a reason to believe that the future isn't just another cycle of hope and heartbreak. And right now, Stefanski is caught in the middle of two fires, one burning on special teams, the other in the quarterback room, inside the locker room. Players insist they still believe in their coach. Veteran leaders have spoken publicly about accountability and focus. They know the noise outside is loud, but the NFL is a week-to-week league. One good performance, one solid win, and the narrative can flip overnight. But that turnaround has to start with execution, not talk. The Browns can't afford another slow start or another mental lapse on special teams. They need to play clean, disciplined football, something they haven't done consistently all year. As the team prepares for Baltimore, the tension around Bria is thick. Stefanski's press conferences have become must-watch events, not because of what he says, but because of how he says it. The subtle hints of frustration, the clipped tone, the carefully chosen words. Every sentence feels like a balancing act between confidence and concern. He knows what's at stake in the NFL. Coaches don't lose the locker room overnight. They lose it one mistake at a time, one missed opportunity after another. And right now, the Browns are piling up those mistakes faster than they can correct them. If Stefanski can somehow steady this ship, if he can fix the special teams chaos, solidify the offense, and manage the quarterback situation with wisdom, he'll remind everyone why he was once considered one of the brightest young minds in coaching. But if the Browns keep losing, if ASJr stays on the bench while the offense sputters, and if special teams remain a liability, then all the loyalty and calm in the world won't save him from the storm brewing in Cleveland. The fans are impatient, the media is circling, and the organization's future feels uncertain once again. For now, Kevin Stefanski is holding firm. He's betting on faith. Faith in his players, faith in his coaches, and faith in his process. But in a league where faith fades fast and results speak loudest, Week 11 against Baltimore could be the defining moment of his season. Either the Browns rise from their chaos and rediscover their identity, or the noise becomes deafening, one way or another. This is the kind of moment that reveals what a team and a coach are truly made of. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The AFC North just got a lot more interesting, and for some teams, downright terrifying. Rumor has it, and the sources buzzing around the league seem to be pointing in the same direction, that ASJr, one of the most talked about free agents this offseason, has officially agreed to terms with the Cleveland Browns. If true, this is not just a signing, it's a potential seismic shift in the balance of power in a division that has been fiercely competitive for years. The chatter around this deal has been nonstop, and insiders suggest that the Browns front office pulled out all the stops to make it happen, throwing in incentives, guarantees, and what some describe as a visionary plan that convinced the young star to bring his talents to Cleveland. The reaction from fans has been mixed but electric, and the ripple effect across the AFC North could be immediate and profound. For years, the Browns have been searching for that missing piece, the kind of dynamic player who can tilt games in their favor and put opposing defenses on high alert. Enter ASJr, whose combination of speed, agility, and field awareness makes him a nightmare for any quarterback trying to navigate the chaos of the AFC North. The rumors swirling around this move suggest that he will be deployed in multiple roles, not just as a standard receiver, but also as a matchup problem in the slot, a gadget player on jet sweeps, and even in the return game. Coaches in the league reportedly see him as the kind of player who can change the entire offensive identity of a team, and if he lives up to the hype, quarterbacks across the division, especially in Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati, may already be dreading matchups that pit them directly against him. Sources close to the Browns organization hint at an almost cinematic negotiation process. Picture late-night calls, multiple strategy meetings, and a front office that refused to let ASJr slip away to another team. There's talk that the Browns leveraged their entire vision of building around a high-octane offense to appeal to his ambitions. Some insiders whisper that the deal includes performance bonuses tied to explosive plays, making it clear that both sides expect fireworks on the field. And while the official contract details remain under wraps, league analysts are speculating that this could be one of the most strategically significant acquisitions the Browns have made in the last decade, signaling a clear intent to contend not just within the division, but for playoff positioning and beyond. Of course, the chatter doesn't stop with the Browns locker room across the AFC North. The mood is shifting from cautious optimism to mild panic. The Steelers' quarterbacks, still finding consistency under center, now have another variable to worry about. The Ravens, known for their disciplined defensive schemes, are reportedly already reviewing film and planning countermeasures, knowing that ASJr's ability to stretch the field and exploit coverage mismatches could expose vulnerabilities. Even the Bengals, coming off a season of highs and lows, are reportedly on high alert. The whispers around league circles suggest that some quarterbacks have openly expressed frustration, or at least apprehension, about facing a Browns offense suddenly supercharged with a player of this caliber. It's the kind of move that could make rival QBs lose sleep. And the gossip mills suggest that locker rooms across the division are quietly bracing for impact. Meanwhile, fans of the Browns are losing it online, with social media exploding over the potential for highlight reel moments every Sunday. Memes, GIFs, and speculation threads are running wild as fans imagine the scenarios: deep sideline bombs, double moves that leave defenders flat-footed, and game-changing catches in the fourth quarter. Rumors even suggest that the coaching staff has been plotting a new offensive scheme centered around ASJr's unique skill set, potentially turning the Browns into one of the most dynamic, unpredictable teams in the league. There's a sense that this signing isn't just about one player, it's a statement. The Browns are no longer just competitors in the AFC North. They might be the team that quarterbacks fear the most, the one that can dictate the pace, exploit weaknesses, and turn the division into a gauntlet. Adding to the intrigue is the timing of the announcement. Sources say that the deal was finalized quietly, with a sense of urgency from the Browns front office. There are whispers that multiple teams were circling ASJr, each offering tantalizing contracts and opportunities. But the Browns' pitch focus not just on money, but on the narrative: be part of something historic, be the cornerstone of a new era in Cleveland, and dominate a division that has historically been tough to conquer. Some insiders suggest that this approach tipped the scales, making the Browns' vision irresistible. The drama behind the scenes has captured the imagination of the entire league, and as the story develops, the rumor mills promise that more details about the negotiation process and the projected role for ASJr will continue to surface. The potential impact on the AFC North cannot be overstated. Analysts are already projecting that this signing could lead to a domino effect, forcing teams to rethink defensive alignments, coverage schemes, and draft priorities. Rumors hint that rival coaches are considering drafting or acquiring additional defensive backs, or shifting schemes just to mitigate the threat posed by ASJr. Some insiders even speculate that this signing could influence trade decisions, as teams look to balance their rosters and prepare for the new reality in a division where one superstar addition can tilt the scales dramatically. There's a sense of quiet panic in certain quarters, coupled with the realization that the Browns might be positioning themselves not just for a divisional title but for sustained dominance. Finally, the personal story adds another layer to the buzz. ASJr's journey through the league has been marked by flashes of brilliance, moments of adversity, and the constant scrutiny of fans and media alike. This move to Cleveland, if confirmed, is seen as a potential turning point and opportunity for him to cement his legacy and showcase his talents on a stage where every play will be analyzed and celebrated. The Browns, for their part, seem ready to embrace the narrative, positioning themselves as the architects of a bold, ambitious vision. And as the rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear: the AFC North has a new variable, a new wild card, and quarterbacks across the division may already be counting the days until their first face-off with a player who could redefine the meaning of nightmare matchup. In short, the Cleveland Browns might have just pulled off one of the most compelling free agent coups in recent memory. The league is buzzing, the fans are ecstatic, and the rumor mills are working overtime to dissect every possible implication. ASJr joining the Browns isn't just a signing, it's a story, a potential turning point, and a setup for weeks of speculation, analysis, and excitement. If the whispers hold true, the AFC North will never look the same again, and the quarterbacks facing the Browns this season might be in for some sleepless nights. Every huddle, every play, every snap could carry the weight of this monumental acquisition, and as the rumors evolve into reality, one thing is certain: the Browns have made a statement, and the rest of the division is on notice. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!